Good morning. Good morning. So will you do me a favor this morning? Um, we need a strap, or a towel can work, or a tie can work. So while you're getting that, hopefully you've got one nearby. Something that's long that we can use to create a little bit of limitation, because we're going to work with limitation. The idea is work with it intelligently today. So with the strap, if you've got one nearby, what I suggest is make a small loop that we can use. That way we can use the small loop, but we can also use the long way. So that you've got a loop that's about this big. Now, if you have a tie, you don't necessarily need to tie up your tie and make a loop. You can just use the tie. It'll work fine. It's convenient to have this, but it's not necessary. And same with the towel. Okay, why the heck are we going to use this? Well, I was reading an article earlier about how many people just feel so constrained by the holidays and the inability to see our loved ones in the same way. And how is it that we work with limitation? And I would think that by now most of us have become rather astute at figuring out how to go on within the limited set of constraints that we have and continue to express ourselves and have a full life. And I also, this isn't meant to be a shameless plug, but I've got a book coming out January 5th, and it's a book about 10 journeys up and down the Ganges River. And so I've watched rivers for a long time. And with rivers, if rivers come up against an obstacle, well, if water comes up against an obstacle, if it's a drop of water, that drop just continues to fall until eventually it changes what it's falling on, like rock. Okay, it will change it over time. So that consistency, we know this in the practice that we're into habit replacement. We begin to shift old ways of thinking, speaking, and behaving by consistently taking a new approach. Or it meets an obstacle and it goes around the obstacle. And I'd bet that we have all had experiences in the last few months of meeting an obstacle and then finding a way to make it all work. I certainly know that my waking hours are spent trying to figure out a way to make it all work. Well, in the practice, this is great because often we will just become so used to a particular movement that if we are given a set of constraints, we've got to find a new way to come into it. And that's what I want to do this morning. It's just practice the art of flow in a more subtle way. Gross way is our big movements, and we all love that, but in a more subtle way with the breath and what we're doing with our attention. All right, you good? Strap. So we'll place it by the mat. Just have it handy. And let's come to a standing position. Lining ourselves up, we'll separate the toes wide apart. Try to take them all off the ground first. So we can set the four corners, what we call the four corners of the feet downward. Separate them wide, and then go ahead and place the fifth toe, the fourth, the third, the second toes, and the first toes down, such that you've widened the toes to the fullest extent that you can. And then unlock the knees so there is flow through the body. Set the pelvis so the pelvis is level. Grow up and out of the spine. Draw the front of the rib cage in and let the shoulders relax. We'll close the eyes and lengthening up through the back of the neck and the occipital ridge, right where the back of the neck meets the head. Feel the tailbone drawing downward and the feet planting into the ground. And then extend the arms. Almost, the elbows aren't locked, but there's a good strong extension. We feel mountain pose for a moment. Watch the breath. Okay, so when we're ready, let's inhale. Send the arms all the way up. And exhale, folding forward, out and down. And inhale, let's lengthen the spine. Draw the sternum away from the tailbone. And then exhale, hands down. And step back to plank pose. And let's pause in plank. So we're pushing back through the heels. Some of us will bring the knees to the floor. The hands are under the shoulders or slightly forward. The index fingers point forward. We lengthen from the heels through the top of the head. We separate the shoulder blades. Draw the navel in, and then knees down, body down, point your toes back, pull your mat, and exhale, slowly come back down. And then again, inhale, feet down, pull, draw the sternum forward, root the legs, exhale down. Now this one, take your arms back behind you a little bit with the hands off the ground and feel the shoulder blades draw in toward each other. They're retracting, yes? And then lift the chest, but keep the feet rooted. You may not feel like you're going very far, but keep the shoulder blades retracting. Then come back down. Let's do one more of those. Elbows point back. Arms draw in toward each other. Blades draw in. And then back down. And then tuck your toes under and shift your hips back over your heels. Bring the chest toward the floor in puppy. Lengthen from your hips through your fingertips. Lengthening the armpits. Noticing flow of breath. Good, and then slowly rising up with toes tucked under. Lift your hips up and back. Pause in downward facing dog. Now let's walk back and forth just a little so we can become malleable. And then will you spin your arms so the arms, they internally rotate and they draw, so it's like this to this. So you've got this protraction happening at the shoulder blades. The shoulder blades get wider and wider and wider. The hips move up. Inhale, exhale, bend your knees, look past your hands and step forward between your hands. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rising all the way up, palms touch. Exhale, release the arms. Okay, so where I am today, it's a beautiful day. It's a great day to salute the sun. And let's begin with the Gayatri Mantra, shall we? Drawing the palms together. Om Bhurбhuva Swaha Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. So we'll take the arms all the way up. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive, fold forward. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, palms down and step back to plank. And slowly lower either knees and torso down or coming about halfway down, either cobra, all the way down, press the legs, or upward dog, press your feet. Grow front spine. And then exhale back over the toes if possible, downward dog. Drawing inner and outer heels downward. Lengthening the spine. Appreciating the flow of breath. This is good news. We inhale, exhale, bend the knees, look past the hands, step or float forward. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Palms touch. Exhale, again, fold forward. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, palms down, step or float back lower the way that you do. And then inhale, open, pressing feet or legs. Exhale, back. Feeling our way into the body this morning. Every day is different. Inhaling, exhale, knees bend, look past the hands, step or float forward. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, fold. Good. Now from here, I'm hoping your strap is nearby. Inhale, rise up with a strap in your hand. And let's pause, drawing the legs together. So we'll take the arms up. We're holding the strap. You're going to have to feel it out for yourself because you're not me. At least not on the outside. So let's make ourselves really long here. Inhale. Exhale. Opening left side. And you get to decide how heavy you want the right arm to be. Now we get into the fabric of the left side, the fascia all along the left side of the body. We take the breath up into the top ribs. Good. And then we inhale, rise up. Exhale, begin to open on this side. What's it like in there? So we're completely present to flow of breath. Okay, inhale, come back up. Exhale, releasing the strap, but not entirely. Let's take it behind the back. Widen the legs. Good, so your feet are parallel with each other. Then inhale, opening. So you've got a retraction of the blades back there. They're drawn in and then folding forward. Let the head and neck relax. The jaw relaxes. The knees bend a little bit so you can push your heels into the ground. The pelvis lifts. And the hands pull on the strap to whatever extent works. This is a great one for Saturday morning for those of us who have been on a computer all week. Take your breath into top chest. Okay, so your arms are strong and straight. And bend your knees again just a little bit. Then inhale, rise up. Exhale, take a breath. How was that? I hope it was good. So from here, we'll turn the right toes out. And we take the strap once again and we send the arms up. So this looks familiar, doesn't it? It looks like Warrior Two. The thighs are opening externally. The back foot is parallel with the back of the mat. It's going to look a little bit more like Warrior Two in a minute. Oh, no, it's not. It's going to look like side angle because that's what it is. So we inhale, lengthen. Exhale, feel your feet press in toward each other as you slowly extend out to a diagonal. And you can feel how your right femur bone draws into the hip socket. And if the femur bones are moving in toward each other, you'll have more stability here. Reaching both arms. It's big, isn't it? then inhale, come up. Exhale, we turn, pivot. Bend left knee. You've got your right heel now. Furthest most point. Find your pelvis first. Level the pelvis, open. And then gradually make your way over. So this is a posture where often we'll place the left elbow down on the left knee and it'll get really heavy and the shoulders contract. And this way we can do the good work and keep some of our habits out of the equation. If you feel your left sit bone, can you scoop it under a little bit and then draw your sit bones together like you're pulling from the earth. Reach, reach, reach. Turn the rib cage a little bit. Good. And then inhale, rise up. Exhale, release the strap momentarily to the side of your mat. Take your hands to the floor. Right leg back, slowly lower. Inhaling. And exhale back over the toes. I often use the analogy of rock and water in this pose. The legs are strong and steady. And the back feels a bit like a waterfall. See if we can find that combination of steady strength and softness. Now sweep right leg up and back so your hips are square. And then draw your thigh in toward your rib cage. Come in close. And then place your right foot down on your mat. Good thing your strap is probably right there handy. And then come up. And we'll take the strap about shoulder distance apart. And as we extend up, we're imagining that it's a bit like Tadasana. So here's the difference. Opening the chest, and there's a place for that. And then drawing the rib cage in. So first let's draw the rib cage in and push back through your back leg. Your right shin is vertical. And then go ahead and open the chest. Nothing changes below. Can you feel that your tailbone is still turned down and that the work you're doing is up between the blades? And then extend up out of the arms and then come right back. Draw the rib cage in. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, opening. And exhale, coming back. And 1 more time. And then back we go. Good. Slowly release the arms. Take the hands to the floor. Right leg back. Lowering through. Inhaling. Exhale back. And quieting everything down so we can feel flow of breath and the micro adjustments that we make to create more space and more motion internally. We can only find those through listening. Okay, left leg goes up and back, hips are level. Inhale, exhale, thigh to rib cage. Land your foot. Now press back through your back leg a lot. That helps us come up. Good, find the strap. Shoulder height. Find the mountain in this first. Ribs draw in. Sink. Yep. Feel your tailbone. Hopefully you've got a little stretch going along the front of the hip flexors. Take a couple breaths here. Lengthen the arms. Extend through your elbows. And then peel open the chest a little bit and retract the blades. Feel them drawing in toward each other. And feel this at the top of the chest and the upper back as opposed to the lower back. Then come right back, pulling in, and then opening, and reaching, and pulling in, and opening. You just notice what kind of space can you make within, really, it's a very small space, but how can we grow in it? And then release the strap once again. Take the hands to the ground, left leg back, lowering through. Inhale, we open. Exhale, back. Draw the pelvis up and back. Widen the shoulder blades. Lengthen the neck. Inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, look past your hands, step or float forward. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, release. Inhale, push ground away, rising all the way up, palms touch. Exhale, release the arms. Mountain pose. Okay, now it's potentially warm enough. All right, so from here, what happens next is we're standing in mountain. We'll bring the right knee in toward the chest. And then we'll bring the palms together in prayer position and we'll kick back into warrior three. So it's as if the leg is as intelligent as the arm. We'll slowly come right back up, thigh to rib cage. And the drishti, the focal point, changes, doesn't it? Because we're looking down on the warrior three, and then we're looking forward as we bring the thigh forward. Let's do it one more time. Pushing back, and then coming back up, and placing the right foot down. Okay, right foot roots, really roots. Palms in prayer position, thigh up to ribs. We do that work first. Feel out the tailbones pointing directly down, and then leg pushes back. You notice the inner thighs sweep past each other. Looking down, and then inhale, come back up. Transferring the gaze, and then pushing back. And one more time, rising up and pushing back, warrior three. Then slowly come back up, standing in mountain. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, lengthen spine. Exhale, palms down, step back. Lower all the way down onto your belly. Okay, so from here, we'll take the arms back behind us, so the palms face up. And we'll lift the legs any amount, push through the balls of the feet, widen the toes. Lift the arms, chest opens, shoulder blades draw in toward each other. Watching the breath. And lifting, anything that will come off the ground comes off the ground. And then slowly release, coming down. Now let's bend the knees and let the legs just travel side to side. We call this windshield wiping. I don't know what the Sanskrit is for this. Okay, so this next one, we'll keep the knees bent and we'll place the hands under the shoulders and we'll pull the mat as we did before. Lengthen front spine, and notice that the tendency would be to draw into the lower back, but instead we're hoisting the sternum forward and we're doing more of this work in the upper back. As the feet come closer and closer toward the head, may feel like they're miles apart, and that's fine. It's lengthening front spine, and then down we come. Reach back for your ankles, would you? If you can't get to the ankles, that strap could wrap around the ankles and you can pull, or you can take your hands underneath your shoulders. Otherwise, we come up, legs hoist upward, and play with drawing the blades toward each other. Strong quadriceps, strong thighs. And remember, I can't see you, so sometimes the legs will end up going really wide, and the way to know is by bringing them all the way together to see what that's like. And then find the middle. Take your breath into top chest, and then release, coming back down. Resting on a cheek. Okay, I want to take care of a few other orders of business before we go to this next place. So come up on the hands and knees. Bring your inner knees together and slowly lower your sit bones to the ground or to a block, because it may not go to the ground. But whatever the case, we want the sit bones rooted downward. Good, and then very kindly, we gradually make our way back, drawing the coccyx forward toward the back of the knees. And you're only going where the shins can stay down and there's no suffering. So water doesn't suffer. It keeps showing up, or it finds a way around, but it doesn't suffer. Press the front of the feet into the ground. Toes down. You can just feel how the pelvis is slowly shifting just a little bit this way. It's like coiling around. Yeah. Good. It's just lengthening quadriceps. You imagine these 4 bands of muscles. Probably don't have to imagine it. You can probably feel it. Are lengthening, gradually lengthening, because that gives us more opening through the front. You can feel how the inhale has more room to travel. All right, slowly we rise. And let's take the hands forward and the legs back behind us. And then lower back down onto the belly. So now we're ready. Remember that strap we talked about? The loop? If you have a loop, the loop goes around the feet. And if it doesn't, if you don't have a loop, and let's say you have a tie or a towel, you can just wrap it around the feet. Now, the game we've been playing is opening the front, the upper back, and the chest, not the lower back. Lower back's got an opening there all on its own. We care about the upper back because you may have noticed that with time, we're beginning to round and it's all happening up here. So we want to reverse some of that. So let's take hand up, both hands up. They're tethered now to the strap. The head is down and we walk the hands up the strap and then we fire the legs. The legs move up. And what is important is that the elbows do not chicken wing out, they are forward. Little internal rotation of the upper arm bones as the legs extend up. Some of us will try to straighten the arms. Have this happen in the upper back. Good, come back down. Let's just rest for a moment and feel into what that feels like right now. We still have the strap around us. I think there's a lot of value to this posture or postures like it because there's no way we could get this feeling without the help of this thing. And we explore in new ways. All right, so ready? We got to do this again. Head down, walk up. The thighs are probably already off. Then legs up, arms up, elbows in a little bit, lengthen your triceps. Legs pull, arms attempt to straighten. And then we unfurl. We see what space is available here. 2 more breaths. And then down we come. Good, undo that. And feeling in. Taking the hands under the shoulders now, back through puppy. So hips over heels. Now feel what it's like. Armpits opening, walk the hands forward. Lengthen your side torso. Just gathering length. And then with toes tucked under, back to downward facing dog. And on your next exhalation, step forward between the hands, inhale, lengthening, exhale, folding. Now you're down here, grab your strap, rise all the way up. And let's come back to mountain pose with the strap. So indeed, we've been working toward a posture. You've probably figured this out if you practice yoga. And it's going to come, the loop or the strap is going to come around the right ankle. So I feel as though I should face you so you can see. But what will happen, it's around the front foot. The inner thighs join here if it's possible. And this elbow is going to swing forward. And then the gaze is steady as we walk the hands up the strap. And then extend the right leg back behind you, pushing back. It's the same posture, isn't it? And opening the top chest. Okay, gradually release. And feeling into what that was like. So I would bet many of us don't take the arms up over the head because we'll think, oh no, it's not accessible or that's not in my practice. It's so important to gather that length. Let's try the other side. So bending knee, setting the gaze. You can feel the pelvic floor lifts a little bit. Navel draws in. Good, this elbow turns, so it's forward. And then other arm joins. Left leg draws back. You might walk in a little bit more along that mat strap. And then begin to open and feel your way in. Okay, gradually release. Good. Oh, what was that like? Come on, you can tell me. I hope it was good. So let's take it a little bit further, but in a little bit more of a relaxed manner. Arms extend up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, hands down, legs back. Lowering down. Inhale, we open. Exhale, back over the toes. Right leg extends up. Then stack the hips if you wish. Keep your shoulders level. Bend right knee. Good, lengthen the whole inside of the left leg, drawing the heel down. Some of you might take it to three-pointed wheel. Careful with that transition. Opening out. Even into the throat and the jaw and the face. The blades draw toward the hips. And then we come back, sweep right leg up and back. And right foot comes to outside of right hand. And the left knee comes to the floor. And the right toes turn to the right, depending on how this feels in your hip. Gradually, forearms come down if that's available. Otherwise, hands high. Sink the left thigh. It gets heavy. And let the body just come to rest a little bit. Yeah, you can feel how the outside of the right hip is gradually, it's gradual, slowly coming down, down, down. Yeah, and then if you wish to take it further, left forearm to top of mat. Turn your whole torso back behind you. Reach back for your foot. Either pull and open or draw the sole of the foot in toward your tailbone or to the right glute, whatever's available. Yeah, keep the shoulders away from the ears, grow your spine, releasing leg. Tuck toes under, send right leg back, lowering through, inhale, exhale, take a couple breaths, just moving with the breath. Left leg goes up, level hips first, then stack. Level shoulders remain, bend left knee. Some of you will take it to three-pointed, sending the legs back, opening out. Upper chest, scapula supports you, release the face. The upper palate, the skull, just relaxing. Good, then hand lands, left leg up and back. Exhale, left thigh in, foot lands lightly. Right knee comes down, toes turn back. Left foot could be out. Let the sinking happen. Maybe right forearm down. And we get quiet. And some of us turn to face the left thigh, Bending the knee, asking the foot to come in. We'll feel this along the front thighs. And we have it be beautiful. Whatever it is, it's beautiful from the inside out. We make it. That's such an interesting thing that we can dedicate ourselves to a specific quality, and then regardless of how things go, we're able to manifest that quality completely independent, well, almost entirely independent from the conditions that we're given. Good, releasing, hands come back down, tuck right toes under, send left leg back, lowering through, inhale, exhale back. Good, and then gradually bring the feet forward the way that you do come to a seat. It's been a world of back bends this morning, hasn't it? Let's pause in boat pose. Lifting the legs. Drawing navel to spine, lengthening through the torso. Just riding the river of breath. Breath and presence are two very good friends. Those two together make it possible to navigate conditions. So what opportunity are we presented with in the face of limitation? Okay, slowly lower the feet. Take your hands back behind you. So the same idea here, the shoulder blades retract a little bit. Feel that action of the scapula drawing in to support the heart, and then coccyx moves toward pubic bone, lift up, root your feet, grow, then head and neck draws back. If your neck's okay, scapula supports the heart. Breathe in here. Just this. We just do this. And then gradually we draw the hips back down. More good news. Take the legs long. We might decide that we're not going to do this one with the legs long, in which case we can do the one we just did. Legs squeeze in toward each other. Point the toes. Draw blades in toward each other. Then up onto the big toes. We want to get the big toes down. Hoist the legs. Back body strong. Lengthening. Inhaling. Exhale. Down we come. Okay, remember that business of back body strong, front body soft? Slowly we make our way down. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Landing. Soles of the feet together, knees wide. Pause, feel the breath. Yeah, and so while we're here in this shape, we could notice what limitations we feel that we have right now. We all have them. And two things happen often with humans. Well, it's not true. There's a little more, but we could resist those limitations, or we could run from them. We could just give up. We could stay stuck with them. We see whatever limitations we have, and then we see if we were like water, how can we work with them such that they actually support us? They support who we want to be. We might not know in this moment, but we open the space for that. How can these limitations support us? And now we are ready for bridge. So we bring the legs in, blades down, feet root. We grow. You could have your block handy and place it under your sacrum. Arms in. You might interlace. Prop open. Prop your heart. Prop your heart. Extend through the knees. Draw sternum toward chin. Feel the strong back body and the soft front body. Yeah, those of you wishing to go on, hands under the shoulders. We're certainly primed for this. Press the hands in. Index fingers point toward your heels. We come lightly onto the top of the head and we look at our arms and they are parallel with each other. And we push the ground away. And we feel the opening across the upper back. And then we're very present with the breath here. Noticing the teeniest little ways, teeny ways we can continue to open. Okay, gradually down we come, head lands. Bridge people, come on down, soles of the feet together, knees wide. Feeling into what's here. And practicing our ability to be present, which happens to be what this practice is about. Presence. And those moments of insight, they happen in moments of now. And it's one reason why now happens to be so essential to the whole game, is that everything opens in now. Okay, so now we come up and we find that strap once again. And this time, if we had the loop, we're going to take the loop and we're going to make it bigger. So I just realized that this could be hard if we don't have a loop, because it means we would have to tie or knot something together. It's not the end of the world. But if you have a tie, you could make a knot. So we're coming in close. So I've wrapped the strap around the feet, and then I've got it low, and then I want to cinch it in so I can feel it pretty taut, but not too taut. We want it down here by the lower back, because what this is going to do is we're going to lie back. I think I have it too tight. I do. We're going to lie back and we're going to feel how the strap ends up creating space in the lower back, which is where many of us feel a great deal of compression. So the feet are on the ground. Some of us might have a bolster under the back. So that would look like right up against the sacrum if we had some pillows that were even. If you don't have bolsters yet, it's a good Christmas gift to yourself. Just lying back, then you can have the chest wide open. It's worth the work. It's worth the work. And then we just open like a butterfly. And if you don't have the strap, no worries. Soles of the feet together, knees wide. We'll close the eyes. And notice that if we begin to observe thought, it won't be long before we have a thought about the future or the past. Or a thought about wanting. Or a thought about not wanting. Aversion. And we just let all those thoughts come and go like birds in the sky. Like watching the river. And see if we can steep ourselves in now. And it won't be long before we drift off. Nature of mind. We tether ourselves to the sensations we feel in the body and the sounds around us. Okay, so from here, we've got to find our way out of this. We'll gradually rise up. Release your feet. Place the strap aside. And then let's lie back. Take your arms out to the sides and let's cross the right ankle over the left thigh. We'll just allow the legs to fall out to your right as you look to the left, pushing the inner left foot any amount. And then we'll come back up and we'll repeat that action 4 more times, exhaling. And even into the neck. Whole left side lengthens. Good. Breath is even, steady, soft. And we switch sides, right foot down, crossing left. Legs move to the left, look to the right. Lengthen right side body. And as we move like this, we focus less on muscle and more on water. Considering that we're mostly water. Just releasing resistance. Wasn't it Jackie Chan who said, "Be like water"? I think so. Good. This is probably the last one. Returning. Send the legs up. Pause here. Some of you will turn this into the inversion of your choice. Could be shoulder stand or headstand if you have a headstand practice. And this is the practice of runoff, just allowing whatever needs to run off of us to run off of us. Stillness is our friend. Watching the breath. And if you took shoulder stand, you can come into plow, and those of us with the legs straight up, extend through your heels, widen your toes, and open up the fabric on the back of the legs any amount. Some of us will have the knees bent, and we can feel that we're hydrating the tissue as we lengthen it any amount. Legs draw toward face. Don't have to go very far. Rest of the body is completely soft. Plow people, slowly make your way down. We all come on to the back. Releasing the legs to the floor. Let's take a little wider Shavasana than usual. Legs go wide, arms wide, palms face up. Letting the body get heavy, the brain soften, be supported by the skull. The eyes are supported in their sockets. The jaw softens. The tongue floats. The front of the throat releases and widens. Relaxing around the heart. The arms are heavy. The breath is soft. The pelvis and leg bones so heavy. And tending to flow of breath. Resting the mind in the heart. And imagine that, a life dedicated to living from the heart. So in our final few moments here, we might look at the qualities we'd like to dedicate ourselves to over the coming weeks as a practice, like generosity or patience. Well, you know the words. I'd say pick one or two so we can focus and come back to them that no matter what the circumstances are, we calibrate our being such that those qualities shine through. We use limitation like a catalyst. Let's take a few deeper breaths. Drawing the knees into the chest, wrap the arms around the legs. Rolling to one side, let the head rest. And when you're ready, we slowly rise up to a comfortable seat. And in this seat, taking a comfortable seat, asana, let's see if we can seat ourselves in that quality that we'd like to steep in. See what it feels like in the body. Let's say it was generosity. What does generosity feel like in the body? In your body? For me, I feel it around top chest, and it feels kind of expansive, and if it were a color, it would practically be like yellow and gold for me. What's it like for you? That word you chose. We see if we can cultivate our internal state. This is yoga. Let's draw the palms together. Closing with one Om. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Let's bring the hands to the forehead, right thought. May we be steady, may we be present, and may we be joyful. The hands come to the mouth, right speech. May our words improve upon the silence. And our hands come to our heart, right action. May we be the change that we wish to see. Namaste. Okay, we did it. So thank you for joining me this morning. And I have a million things I could tell you about all of the things that we're doing. We're over at Breathe Together Yoga, and if you want to take a look at the page, you can. There's a million ways to participate with me over the coming weeks. I live here with you and the camera and the computer, and happy to be here. All right? See you soon.